All right. So I keep watching camera conspiracies on YouTube, and it makes me want to go out and just take a walk and vlog like this. I guess his other channel, the Vegetable Police, does, actually. I feel like I'm going to some Canadian market to buy 10 pounds of bananas. So anyway, I was looking at some old match footage, a lot from the middle of last year, actually. And I noticed that in practice and in the matches, my split times were completely off. And what I mean by that is, in matches, I feel like I'm so deliberate with every target, and I'm shooting a lot slower, just slower splits and slower transitions. So I was wondering why that is. And the first thing that comes to mind is that, oh, it's just a match, so I'm being a little more careful and more deliberate with each target, make sure that I get the hits that I want. But that's an answer that I really hate, because that means that in practice, I'm never really going to reach that in a match, because the speed that I shoot in practice is my practice speed. Then there's a match speed that I shoot, which is a little bit more deliberate. So that just doesn't sit well with me. Like, I want my match speed to be as fast as I'm practicing now. And why can't it if I do a drill like 5 times in a row well in practice? There's no reason I shouldn't be able to do that in a match at the same speed. So I don't really buy that explanation. So then maybe it's the way that I'm practicing. So what I'm gonna do to try and fix that is, in my practice, I'm gonna spend a lot less time on the same drill and array. And I'm gonna try to get a ton of reps in on many, many different arrays. How I'm gonna do that is just switch targets around very frequently, and before I feel comfortable with them. And that's the key, is before I feel comfortable with them. I don't want my speed to come from my comfort with an array that I've decided to practice for the day, if that makes sense. So, like, stages are really simple. They're just a bunch of little pieces that you've practiced, on your own, put together in different ways. And I want to do a whole nother set of videos on like how I break down stages and how to recognize patterns to make your life a lot easier. But what I'm going to do is try to vary up the patterns that I shoot in practice a lot more. And it's going to include actually a lot of dry fire transitioning. So in my dry fire setup now, I have a bunch of targets on the wall that look kind of random, but they kind of stay that way because I don't like go up and change them every dry fire session. So what I'm gonna do is change those a lot more, get a ton of fast transition practice in, and then take that to my live practices. Vary up the targets, maybe every 2 or 3 reps, and just like rail on them and shoot as fast as I can, forcing mistakes, and figure out what kind of target transitions are the ones that I screw up on the most. And then bring that home to dry fire. And, just make sure that I get really good at those. So, the whole reason I want to do this really and switch up the practices. So I Lynn called and I just walked like in a complete circle. So I'm not sure if I already talked here. This may look really weird, like I'm going back in time. But, all right, so the whole reason that I wanted to change up my practice like this is because the gun that I have now, when I go back and look at my other videos, like I kind of remember how those guns shot. And every year they got better and better, but my gun now is just so good. And I want to do right by how well my gun is tuned, and just be like, come into nationals and be the absolute fastest that you've ever seen me on real stages. And I think I can do it. Like, all it's going to take is a little bit of a mentality shift and probably just changing up the way that I practice. So I'll give that a try, and yeah, more videos of that coming out on the range. All right, see ya. I guess I might do another one later tonight if I have time. We're gonna do a barbecue though. So if not, maybe 2 videos tomorrow to catch up. But but I'll catch up at some point. All right, see you guys.